I hit record through so that this one can go up and share screen. This is fine. Yeah, so if you buy that, it comes with a smaller version and it's called Don't Talk to Me or My Son Again. I am very sad that I can't do as many memes as I did when I was teaching at the college level. I have to be very mindful of the kids. During a faculty meeting, someone said something about the kids, and I was like, it's okay to leave some kids behind. A couple people laughed. Not enough to warrant my comments, but speak of the devil. All right, cool. Nothing important. All right, so coming back to the structure, and I think we had the question of this ethyl methyl dilemma that we're talking about. So you're gonna learn something here. This is not going to be enjoyable, which I find myself saying to a lot of students over the years. So again, our octane 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we had at 2 and at 5, we had the dimethyl, right? But now we have this thing at 4, which I think is probably the hardest part, right? So, oh my God, nomenclature. At 4, right, at here, we are going to have this thing. Does anyone know why we have parentheses?
Isn't it because you start counting like a separate chain?
Yep. So we have our main chain, which is the octane, right, and these numbers. But when you have in parentheses, you're going to have a side chain and then a side chain off of that. So chains on chains on chains on chains, stacks on stacks on stacks. Basically, that's the thought here. So when you see that, you're going to have a chain with the chain coming off with the chain coming off. All right. So at 4, again, when you see that parenthesis, you do like we did the first time. You worry about the back end. I had a professor, and I think I told you my organic professor was a weird old man, so kind of my inspiration, but he was, don't want to say dirty, but definitely improper. And so the way he worded this, which I'll tell you now, is that he says, just like me, you always check out that back end. So if you can imagine a 70-year-old professor saying this in a 600-person lecture at the University of Washington. And it was interesting because like half of the people were like, yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. But you just go there and again, you just look at the back half of that and it's an ethyl. So we're going to go, and I'm actually going to do this to make life a little bit easier. 1, 2, like that. So that is that ethyl coming off. All right. Now we worry about this side. And so we count again. So coming off, the first carbon off of my main chain is 1. The second carbon off is 2 and a 3 and 4 and 5 like that. I count coming off the main chain. Does that make sense? So at carbon 1, I have 2 methyls, 1, 1. And then that's how that works. Okay. So if you see a number dash parenthesis, that means you're about to add a chain that has substituents coming off. Okay. So you have to keep an eye on for that. And that theory of having parenthesis, parenthesis, parenthesis is going to keep going that way. All right. So you just keep watching it. But typically, no professor is so mean as to give you multiple parentheses within a parenthesis like that. That's just cold-blooded. All right. But that's just that idea. Any questions on this? Okay. So let's go ahead and try these last two. And then I think you guys will probably be pretty comfortable with nomenclature. So let's go ahead and try E first. Actually, we have a couple more. So as you're doing this, just remember when you're actually doing these problems, just try to put as many things as you can. Try to get as many points as you can, right? Be smart about your test. If you know how to draw the base, just draw the base. If you're unsure about the substituents, just write, I know that this is what the base should be. I'm just not sure how to number, or I'm a little iffy here. Leave notes for your TAs, right? The people that grade them. Let them know what you're thinking. So if you get stuck on something, you can say, hey, Broseph Stalin, leader of the proletariat, this is where I got confused by this, but the rest of this should check out. And so then you can get those partial points, right? You want to nickel and dime your way to success if you can't consistently excel. We can't all be me. Some of you are going to have to scrape by, but that's okay. All right, so again, we are just going to go to the back end of our molecule, right? So here we have a cyclo. So what does cyclo mean, guys?
A ring.
It is a ring, and so we have a 5-membered ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And so now, does it matter where you number 1? Or it doesn't matter just as long as you're consistent? It doesn't matter just as long as you're consistent. So say Bella is sitting there and it's just like, I'm going to call you carbon 1 and I'm going to call you carbon 2 and you're going to be 3, you're going to be 4, you're going to be 5, right? But say Gwen, she drew hers and she's like, nah, I don't play that way. This is going to be 1, this is going to be 2, this is going to be 3, this is going to be 4, this is going to be 5. It doesn't matter as long as you are consistent with how you're doing your things, all right? And the idea is that you have just basically this idea here that you are going to just number however you need to number, and you don't need to worry about it. Just be consistent with it. So now that I have that at 1, so if Bella's doing hers, I have a methyl at 1. Help if I turn on the drawing tool. And at 2, I have an ethyl. 1, 2. Right? But the same thing if Gwen did hers, this would be 1, this would be 2. It doesn't matter just as long as you are consistent. So what's one thing you guys could do to help your points, to help make sure that whoever's grading your stuff is in your head? What's something that I did here that you could help you out?
Label your carbons.
Number your carbons so that they can see what you're thinking, right? Help yourself out. Number your carbon so that if they say, cyclopentane, this is where she considers number 1, so be it, right? It doesn't matter as long as you're being consistent with that. All right, so just number that stuff. Okay. Let's go ahead and try F. See what you guys get for F. Be back in 1 second. Again, I want to go for a beer. Of course, I have it with you guys, but I will go for a Coke instead so I can stay focused. That's right. You caused me to drink. Actually, if I had to blame my drinking on anyone, it'd be Bella. Front row problems.
Wait a second. I didn't do anything.
Front row problems. Although Bay and Matthew are not too far behind on that list. And Kendra's not here right now, but she would definitely be up there too.
I did sit there first. The rest of them joined me after like the first week too, so all my fault, I guess.
Yes. Speaking of front row, I just had a message from the other two. Not Gwen's front row. Actually, no, I did get a message from also both of you, both of the front row people. I got a message from Sydney, and I got a message from Lena and what's her name? I forgot the other one. Yes. The blonde one and the brunette one. Both of them.
Well, both of them. Tamina.
Tamina and
I
I forget, but they both
Yeah.
messaged me. So
Okay.
I think they're taking OChem, but
Nice.
all right. So next we have up this one here for F. And again, we just draw our back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, number 6. At 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have a chloral. And at 2, we have dimethyl, like that. And that's all we do. Are you guys feeling better? Are you getting these answers now? Are you getting more consistent? Okay. So any questions? Okay. So we have, let's try G and then we'll try H because H is a fun question. I think it's fun. Not for you guys, but for me, it's fun. So while you guys are doing this, I'm teaching a capstone forensics class for our seniors. And in the first part of the class, I taught them forensic techniques like how to analyze fingerprints, how to look at digital stuff to see if it's been altered. Like you can look at like the files and things like that, and working murder scenes and stuff. So now they're solving a crime. I created a murder for them on our school's campus. And so now they're attempting to solve it with all the things they have learned. So I have successfully lured them away from the correct choice and no one is onto the right path yet. And I'm very happy about that. If I could fail all of my students, it would be great. It's the dream. Is chloro a no, chloro is, what's chloro, guys?
It's a chlorine.
Chlorine, right? So all of your halogens, which is you guys are focusing on, you have fluoro. Chloro. So this is F. This is Cl. You have bromo. And then you have iodo. These are 4 you should know. That's I. And also allows me to say my favorite phrase, no bromo. Well, my favorite compound is called bromoform, and it's got so much bro in the title. I don't know why. It tickles my fancy. Just sounds funny. Okay, so now that we're going to do this again, we just look at the back end of this. Nonane is 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, number. This will help your grader and this will help you keep up with which way you're doing stuff. Right, so at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we have bromo. At 2, we have chloro. And at 3, we have ethyl. 1, 2, like that. Did you guys get that? Okay. H, now this is the last one, and this is a very important one because in this problem, you're going to draw it out and you're going to realize that the name is wrong. You're going to have to figure out what the new name is. So draw out this structure as told to you, then figure out what the correct name should be. Go ahead, smirking. I feel nervous. She's up to something. Yes, so again, feel free to bother me for the life of your organic chemistry. If you need to hit me up with problems, I'm okay with organic chemistry. Gwen, I don't know if I sent you that photo, but I think you'd appreciate it. Okay, so we have our compound here, which is 3-1 methylpropyl octane. So again, I'm going to draw my main chain. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 1, 2, 3, 8. So 3, right? And again now, when I come off of 3, right, I'm going to go to the back end of this one. So 1, 2, 3, like that, right? And coming off of 1 is going to be a methyl. So I'm going to change, actually, I'll change colors to make this a little bit clearer. So again, when you have that parenthesis, when you have a number, then a parenthesis, you're going to be putting 2 more chains. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, like that. And then you have a new chain that is coming off of 1, because this is going to be 1, 2, 3. So then you have a methyl coming off of here. So what is wrong with this structure? Did anyone catch on to what this is?
I'm gonna take a guess, and inside the parentheses, wouldn't it be 1, comma 1? I don't know.
Nope, because you only have that one methyl coming off, which is this right
Okay.
here. That's still just that one methyl.
Can I try and guess the name of it?
If you want to.
Is it isobutyl?
No, we've created a. We have. You guys have sinned. Whoever named this sinned in the naming of this. Because what's the first rule we have to do when we're naming a structure? What is the very first thing we need to do? We have to locate the
parent chain.
The parent chain or the longest chain, right? So according to our name, octane, is 8 our longest chain?
No, it's 9.
It's now 9. So if we look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Our new base name is nonane, right? And if we're counting from down here, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. We have a methyl on 3 and we have an ethyl on 4. 4 ethyl, 3 methyl. So this is why you need to be careful. This is a common type of problem where they will give you an incorrect name. So you draw the structure as it's written, right? And then you go back and look, am I looking at the right chain, right? Another thing that could be wrong with it, is it numbered correctly? Did I count from the wrong direction? So that might be another way that they can try and get you. Does that make sense for the 2 ways that they can kind of fool you with that? Okay. Any questions on this? How do you guys feel? 1 to 10, how comfortable? 1 being you could have missed today and been just off, just as worse. 10 being no problem is going to get you. 7 is where you want to be, to where you understand what's happening. You may just not be getting the answers right every time. So think about that, but that's okay. We're going to do some more tomorrow. There's more of these practice exams, but the idea is if you feel relatively comfortable in that you can at least draw the chain and you're getting most of the substituents right, that's a good place to be for tonight, right? Especially if you've had trouble up to now doing these kinds of things. Okay. Any questions on this stuff?
I actually have a quick question on D. So C, before that, we learned in class that isopropyl is methyl ethyl, essentially. So for D, if it's dimethyl ethyl, would it be that, or would it technically be like isopropyl?
So like this, hold on, I'm gonna just draw So this is our main chain, right? I'm just gonna, this stuff is just whatever. And then we have coming off of this as our side chain. We have the ethyl. And then we have the 1,1 like that. Does anyone know what functional group this is called? With the common name, not the. You have a carbon here in the center, right? And what's coming off of those 3 carbons? Yep, base got it. You got CH3, CH3, CH3. This is tert-butyl. This is a tert-butyl group. But remember, things like tert-butyl, isopropyl, those are not IUPAC names. Never use them if she asks you to do an IUPAC name. Isopropyl, not an IUPAC name. You can use it in standard naming, but if it's IUPAC, you can't use it. Does that make sense? Okay. Sorry, I'm messing with one of my students right now. She just sent me a message saying she's going to miss tomorrow because of a doctor's appointment. So I just told her I'm just going to give her an F just to save time. Making high school students cry is like shooting fish in a barrel. There's no sport in it. Not like you guys. I had to work for you guys. You took a little bit of work. Tragic as that is. Okay. So let's go ahead and keep scrolling down and we'll come up to the next section. So again, we did this earlier with the naming. So if you were late, these will be posted on YouTube and you can find these. And if you need the YouTube channel, just ask the other people and they will send you the stuff, right? So you want to make sure. Actually, let's try and name H. Try and name H. Try and come up with a name for this compound. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is just identify our longest chain. And so all we do is just count. Then if you're ever unsure on how to do this, just pick one end and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so if I went from here to here, that's 7, right? And then you can say, well, I will try another way just to make sure. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I also get 7, right? So you just go from one point to another. If I decided to go from here, 1, 2, 3, right? If I did that. So just pick one end and go till you get to another end. And that's how you figure out what the longest chain is, right? So it doesn't matter if I go left or right now in terms of the longest chain, but should I number from left to right or should I number from right to left? What do you guys think?
Right to left.
Yes. So when you are numbering, you always want to have the smallest numbers. And so if I number from right to left, I'm going to have the smallest numbers. All right. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So I'm going to write heptane like that. And now I have a methyl, a bromine, a bromine, and a bromine. How do I list substituents? By their numbers or a different way?
Isn't it alphabetical?
It's correct. So bromine is going to be bromo. A methane group is going to be methyl. So my bromos should come first. So 2, 2, 4, tri bromo, right? I don't alphabetize the tri or the di or whatever else. I alphabetize the actual name. So if I have like dimethyl, the D doesn't count. It's just the methyl. All right. And then it's going to be 6. As again, that popped up. That's weird. 1 second. So then this would then be 6-methyl heptane, like that. All right, so that should be how you got that. And I want to remind you, if your professor tells you different, are you going to tell her that's not the way I learned it? Or are you going to say, yes, professor, that is correct? You're going to say, yes, professor, that is correct. Terry who? I don't know the guy. He could be dead in a ditch for all I care. Well, you don't have to say that, but just, don't bring me into your arguments with the professor, because again, I will sell you out so fast, so quickly. All of you. Bella's like, oh, he wouldn't sell me out. She knows. I would sell her out in a heartbeat. Skylar, Morgan, out the door. Magdalena, I would make you live in Scottsdale when you went back. That's what your punishment would be. You have to go live on the east side. All right. So the important thing is when you're doing these naming, whether you're coming up with the name or you're trying to draw them, always focus on the longest chain, then slowly start adding your substituents, right? And remember, add as much information as you can to the picture, because the more information that you add to your drawing, the better that's going to help your grading. If I'm a hallucination, you guys do a lot of self-abuse, because I abuse a lot of you verbally. So I'd be concerned if you guys are hallucinating me. Be like, what do you dream of? Oh, I dream of flying. What about you? Fat guy that yells at me about chemistry. That's what I dream about, which would be very terrifying if that's where your life is at. But does this make sense though? Do you guys feel better about nomenclature? All right, just take your time. Just draw everything you need to draw. Don't worry so much about all the things. IR, what does IR tell me? Who can explain it to me in its simplest terms? Gwen, you're muted if you're trying to say something.
Oh, I just said that it shows like functional groups.
That's it. That's all it is. IR shows functional groups. So just to go back to what we covered, and again, tomorrow I will go over more of this stuff and we can run through more of these problems. All IR group tells me is that if I shoot IR light at it, depending on what the bond is, it's going to vibrate at a certain frequency, right? A certain wave number. And that just depends on what type of bond it is, right? So if I see this, thing here, right, that's going to be a C double bonded O. I know a peak around 1700 that's like that. It's going to be a C double bonded O. A peak that's right to the right of 3000, sp3 carbon hydrogen. If it goes right to the left, sp2 carbon hydrogen. I just pull out those pieces of information as fast as I can. I tend to ignore to the right of 1500 if I can. That's my fingerprint region, right? And you just look for all of those small things. And if you remember when we solved this, we found the one that had a peak, right? And if you were not here for this, C4H8O2, C5H10O, and C6H12. 2 of those have oxygen, 1 does not. Compound A has a carbonyl group at 1700, C double bonded O. Compound B has a C double bond, a carbonyl peak, right? There's no carbonyl peak in compound C, right? So A and B have a C double bonded O. That means that compound C has to be the only one without oxygen, right? Because A and B had to have an oxygen in there. And this is how you do it. You just do it piece by piece by piece. It's just deductive reasoning, right? It's a little bit of logic, but you just pull at it until everything makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to post these videos at some point tonight onto YouTube. There are other videos up there of Dewis's class, of me walking through her PowerPoint. So if you guys need to go through and watch me explain things and answer questions, they are on YouTube. You can just search on YouTube for my name and you'll find my channel. So you can go there and watch it. I will continue to do this for the rest of the semester because I have a little bit of pity for you. I understand the struggle of organic chemistry. It's not easy for everyone, but remember, if you do well and get through this first part of the class, it gets a lot easier on the back end. The toughest part of this class is the front end. Once you get past this and MO theory, provided you're good at memorizing, it's going to be a lot easier. All right, I promise you that. So if you're sitting here saying, I'm struggling and I'm just getting a B right now, just keep pushing through right now. It does get easier on the back half of this, but you need to go into it just with the same type of speed. Yep, same time, same link. And again, if you can't be here for the whole thing, that's fine. I will post the video recordings online. You can go back and look at them. Use them as you see fit. I will also be going through Sandler's stuff. I agreed to help Ellie because I feel really sad for her. Gwen, the next time you see her, can you just give her a hug for me? Just say, this is a comfort hug.
I feel so bad. No, she said that literally like her first class, or she like called me like during her class. She was like, I hate OChem. I was like, why? She was like, because my teacher just started class and just started drawing stuff and then isn't saying anything. And I was like, wow, that must suck.
Yeah.
Like it has PowerPoints and like explains.
Yeah, Sandler is a pretty nice guy. Him, myself, and Garrick, who's the physical chemistry professor, and Ben, not Ben, Dan. We used to go grab drinks. They're nice fellows. I miss the department. So I will actually be back this summer working with the summer program for NIH ACS. So I will be on NAU's campus most likely. So if any of you are around in the summer, you can come find me. So I will be there somewhere. I'll let you guys know as we approach. But tomorrow, same time, we'll review. And every week, every Thursday at 6 p.m., I go through the PowerPoints for that week. I record, I make notes. You can come. Matthew and Bay can tell you I've been doing this, and they've been learning a lot of stuff. They feel very comfortable. They're doing a lot better. So just do what you need to do. And if I see you again tomorrow, great. If I don't see you again tomorrow, because your schedules are busy, it was nice seeing you, but I will be here the entire semester. And then next week, you know what we're going to do once you get your test back? We're going to do what we did in my class. We're going to go through and we're going to figure out where you went wrong, make corrections. That way you know not to make those mistakes again. All right. And then we'll just continue on learning. So take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you so much. This is amazing.
Yes, I will write you a letter. Send me another email. I know I saw it, Matthew. Just send me a reminder email and I will write you that. All right. Bye, guys. Bye, Bella.
Bye.
Miss you, Bella.
Miss you.
Bye,
I
Meg.
don't know if you I don't know if you remember Kyle. He was in another section with but he says hi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's,
same.
I don't know.
Tomorrow I have a bio lab, so I might be a little late, but I'm going to come because
Dead to
this
me.
was really helpful.
Dead
Thank
to me.
you.
Just right dead, just out the window, dead. Get your ass back to Glenda Hill. No, that's fine. So just,
Bye.
show up when you can.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.